Hello, I'm Lori Steiner, sitting in for Armin Budish. Welcome to Golden Opportunities.
Today, the big C can raise big fears. We'll look at treatments that may calm some concerns about cancer. We'll swear to give the truth, the whole tooth, and nothing but the tooth, to getting a beautiful smile. Then, we'll help you get your arms around the Affordable Care Act. Plus, we'll give balanced information on the importance of maintaining your balance and how to stop those annoying telemarketing calls from interrupting your dinner.
It's time to get GOing, so pull up a chair and join us at our kitchen table for Golden Opportunities. When you think of treatment options for cancer, radiation probably pops into your head, but your mind may be remembering how radiation worked years ago. Dr. Peter Ley is here to share the technological advances that have made radiation treatment in the present very different from the past. Dr. Ley is a radiation oncologist with Metro Health. Welcome to the show, doctor.
Thank you very much, Lori, for inviting me to come over to the channel.
All right. Well, you're going to give us some good information about treatments for cancer. Radiation has been around for years. What's different now?
Radiation is much different than like 20, 30 years ago. Now we use very high energy X-ray and very focused right at the tumor site, so avoid a lot of other side effects that you used to experience 20, 30 years ago. We use the modality of treatment, what we call IMRT. It's called intense modulation radiation therapy, which is extremely precise. It came out approximately 10 or 15 years ago. In order to localize the tumor, we usually do a CAT scan to find out the exact location of the tumor. Then we can pinpoint the radiation right at the tumor site.
Oh, okay. So can you give us an example of how this approach is much better than the original?
Oh, yeah, yes, I can do that. Let me give you an example like head and neck tumor. Our actor Michael Douglas, we probably remember, had head and neck cancer. In the old days, what we used to do was the patient like Michael Douglas would have a surgery, a radical surgery followed by what we call postoperative radiation treatment. Unfortunately, with the radical surgery, patient often lose their vocal box and sometimes needing a tracheostomy. That would be very traumatic to the patient.
Yeah, especially Michael Douglas.
Especially for Michael Douglas, I mean, being an actor, he would lose his career. Plus, with the old days of radiation treatment, we used a much more larger field, and patient would experience significant side effects from the radiation treatment, such as dry mouth, loss of taste, and with problems swallowing. With the modern technology, now we don't even do surgery. We do chemo and radiation up front and try to get rid of the tumor. We only do surgery if the radiation and the chemo fail. So that's why Michael Douglas never had surgery. And then with modern IMRT radiation treatment, often we can even avoid the saliva gland, and patient barely experience any symptoms of a dry mouth. And sometimes we can often avoid the tongue, so they won't even lose the taste. So the treatment is much improved.
Much better than it was.
From the old days of treatment.
Does it also cut down on the number of treatments that you have to have?
Oh, definitely. It also depends on what type of tumor you're talking about, because it's so pinpoint, we can give much higher radiation per treatment compared to the old days of radiation treatment. With a conventional radiation treatment, usually takes about 4 to 6 weeks of treatment. With the pinpoint radiation, often we can have it down to 3 to 5 treatment. So it saves the patients lots of time because they don't have to go back and forth for 4 to 6 weeks. Now they only have to come for like approximately 1 week of treatment.
That's great. And it's not just for neck and uppers, it's all cancers?
It's for all cancers. We often do IMRT radiation for lung cancer, prostate cancer, and sometimes breast cancer. For instance, in the old days of radiation for prostate cancer, patients often experience significant symptoms of diarrhea and urinary symptoms. Nowadays, 50% of the patients that come through our door don't even have any side effects. They just come and go on a daily basis.
That's fantastic, and that's good information for us to know. These advancements in radiation treatments are getting great reviews. To find out more, use the information that's coming up next. My thanks to Dr. Lay for joining us today.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
To find out more, call the Metro Health Cancer Center at 216-77-TREAT. Or to request a Cancer Center jar opener, visit www.metrohealth.org/cancer. Next, Wide Open. But first, we all know that in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue on the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. But when and where did the ships Discovery, Sarah Constant, and Goodspeed sail into our American history? We'll lower the anchor with the answer when we return.
Welcome to Breckenridge Village, a continuing care retirement community conveniently located in historic Willoughby, Ohio. Whether it's a luxury apartment, a spacious ranch home, or newly built brownstones, it's all here with the added security of knowing more care is available when you need it. Breckenridge Village offers an exciting and upbeat lifestyle, and the food is fabulous, and our staff makes you their #1 priority. Learn more about Breckenridge Village and come see our new Veal Wellness and Aquatic Center.
In 1607, Discovery, Sarah Constant, and Goodspeed were the vessels that set sail from England to carry colonists to what we now call Jamestown, Virginia. These pioneers established the premier permanent settlement in the United States.
Have you noticed we tend to put things off until we actually have a deadline? You know, we don't buy new luggage until we have a trip planned. We don't finish fixing up the house until we decide to actually put it on the market. And the same thing holds true for looking our best. A new haircut, fresh makeup, a new suit. We do it all when we have a class reunion or a job interview or a family gathering. Dentist Steve Marsh is here with details on folks whose deadline was walking down the aisle and how they all lived happily ever after. Always a good story, one's happily ever after.
And you know, it's a funny thing. In the last 2 to 3 months, we've had more people who have come to me just before the wedding, literally 2 to 3 months before the wedding. They've always been bothered by their smile. They want to look good for pictures. They want something they'll always have a great memory of. And so we thought it would be fun just to focus on weddings today.
Okay.
And certainly, as you mentioned, events like reunions are also motivators. But this was sort of a fun thing. We thought we'd look at it a little more closely.
Okay, and the most important person in the wedding party, probably the bride. So you have a story about a bride.
Always the bride, yeah. And recently a woman came to me, young woman, who was going to be a bride, and it was 2 weeks before her wedding. She had just had her braces removed and was expecting this big, beautiful smile. And unfortunately, she didn't have the smile that she wanted. And she had come to me about 10 years ago for some bonding, and so now she came back to me. So here's what she looked like before, and she came in and said, oh my gosh, things don't look the way I'd like them to look. It was a little hurried in terms of the orthodontics, and usually you'll get a much better result than that. And so I said, well, let's see what we can do in a very quick way. And so we did some reshaping. You can see the front 2 teeth were shortened. We bonded the teeth next to them. And you can really see how those lower teeth had shifted over the years. And the orthodontics wasn't able to get the look that she wanted, obviously. So we did some reshaping, and things looked much better. We also did a little whitening on her again because it was just before the wedding. But 2 weeks was all it took.
Well, that's not bad at all. Next, you have a story about the mother of the bride, making sure that the bride was beautiful.
Yeah, and this is a mother who was, she was very proud of her daughter. She knows she was about to step down the aisle. She had a space between her teeth that always bothered her. And so she said, what could we do? This was 6 weeks before the wedding, and what we were able to do was we whitened some of the teeth in the back, and then we used porcelain veneers, Lori, to close the space. I also did some reshaping because we didn't want those front 2 teeth to look too wide. So the combination of the whitening with the porcelain veneers gave her a great smile. And the mom said to me, you know, the dress in the wedding is just a night, and the smile she'll take with her the rest of her life. And I was very proud to be trusted to do that, and she's right. And I think we have to think long-term as well as short-term for the wedding.
Okay, and now we have some family members, right?
Yeah, and this is another patient who came to me. This is the father of the bride. By the way, he sort of had to be dragged in by his wife. Again, 4 to 6 weeks before the wedding. I have a wonderful lab, Dental Ceramics, who does a lot of my work, and I said I need this done in about a week and a half. So he had some chipped teeth in the front. He had some old decay. We cleaned out the decay. We reshaped the upper teeth. We did porcelain veneers, and on the lower, just some lower reshaping very quickly, and got the father of the bride so that the wife was happy, and he was too.
All right. But he wasn't the only one in the wedding party, right?
Nope, his daughter. Now his daughter also came, and she's the maid of honor, and again, came to me for one morning, 2.5 hours, and in 2.5 hours we were able to reshape those teeth. Again, we did some gum contouring, which we do with a laser, and then we did some reshaping of the lower teeth and some bonding of the uppers. And I have to tell you, she was proud, the father was proud, and it's just gratifying to be able to do this. But obviously we'd like more time, but if we don't, sometimes
Something
we
can be
can
done
do some
quickly.
minor changes that'll make a big difference for both the wedding and for years beyond.
Excellent. Great information. As always,
Thank you.
you don't have to wait for a big day to transform your teeth. Now is enough of an event. Write your own happy ending. And to do it, give Steve a call. His number's coming up next.
See what Dr. Stephen Marsh can do for your smile by calling 440-461-1003 or visit www.clevelandsmiles.com. Next, will the Affordable Care Act improve your health? Looking for places to go, things to do? Welcome to our community calendar. Is your pet primed for a spooky time? Then dress your dog for Halloween and join the 5th annual Spooky Pooch Parade, Saturday, October 20th in downtown Lakewood. The parade of pets will include prizes for the spookiest pooch. To sniff out more information, call 216-521-0655 or follow the trail to www.lakewoodalive.com.
The Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, is starting to take effect. But how will it affect seniors in particular? To give us the particulars, Joe Gibbons from Medical Mutual of Ohio has joined us. Joe is the Vice President of the Government Relations Department. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you, Lori.
Good to have you talking about this.
Appreciate you having us here today.
Let's look at the prescription coverage first. There's
Sure.
that infamous donut hole, so what's going on with that?
Absolutely. You know, one of the first things that we all recognize today is that prescription drugs have become a vital, integral part of restoring health, treating disease. And several years ago, 2006, Medicare first made available to beneficiaries a drug benefit. But it came with what you say is the donut hole, a gap in coverage,
Right.
which provided, the benefit was terrific at the beginning, an initial limited benefit, but when you reach a particular dollar value, coverage stopped for $4,000 worth, where seniors had to pay that cost. If they had that kind of medication expense, had to pay that cost out
Right.
of pocket on
Caused
their
some
own.
upset.
Absolutely. You know, and it not only upset, it caused some seniors to be so fearful of the cost to either avoid taking the medication, skip doses, split pills, do those sorts of things which really didn't help them restore their health or maintain their condition that was being treated. Fortunately, I think now in the Affordable Care Act, Congress has stepped back, as they often do with Medicare, and has looked at the program and said, we can do better. So initially, in 2010, shortly after the bill was passed, seniors were being provided with a rebate, a cash rebate. Then discounts at the point of sale in that donut hole, with the whole idea by the time we get to 2020, the donut hole will no longer be an issue.
Oh, good.
It will be gone for seniors.
Oh, I'm sure that's going to be helpful for a lot of people who take those big doses of medication. Also, we know an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, right? How does Obamacare address preventative care and the wellness visits? What's going on?
Well, there's no question. In our industry, in healthcare, wellness and prevention go hand in hand, and they're the watchwords for really, again, restoring health and trying to really, in many cases, save you money in doing so. So the Affordable Care Act provides for an annual wellness visit for seniors to visit with their primary care physician. Now, that visit is not necessarily a head-to-toe physical, but what it does give you each year as a beneficiary is the opportunity to sit with your primary physician, do a risk assessment of your health status, and if you see things that look like need to be improved, you can isolate on those and work on those. If there are other things that we get into the areas of prevention, now there the Affordable Care Act really did some wonderful things. Up until the passage of these provisions of preventative care in the Affordable Care Act, seniors had to pay 20% out of pocket copay for many preventative services. Under the Affordable Care Act, the 20% copay, no deductible, no co-insurance obligation for seniors. And they have a number of preventative services that are available to them, things that are really, really very prominent in our society. Mammography services for women, and in some cases, oddly enough, for men as well. Prevention services and screenings for prostate cancer, for diabetes, heart disease, obesity, depression, which is a significant element of treating
Oftentimes,
people,
yes.
particularly in the senior set.
Right.
So the Affordable Care Act has done wonderful things both in the wellness and in preventive services as well.
Okay. Now, the baby boomers are coming up. They're going to have a huge impact on healthcare needs.
Absolutely.
So what's their future when looking for Medicare?
Well, Medicare, as I said earlier, is constantly being looked at by Congress, the policymakers, the politicians. That's not going away. Medicare is going to be in the crosshairs for a long time to come. And baby boomers in particular. There's 1.5 million baby boomers a year for the next 15 years hitting the Medicare shore.
My goodness.
And if we think the program is under stress today in terms of financing, you can imagine what that comes with the baby boomers who are coming out of a situation where they know what health care can do, and they're going to vote in their own best interest. So the crux of the matter for Medicare in the future for baby boomers is, if you're a baby boomer today, is watch it closely because it's your future. You've invested in it, and make sure that the investment pays off for you.
All right. Ask questions. Get information like this. This
Absolutely.
has been absolutely very great information. The Affordable Care Act will act in many areas to ensure affordable health care is available to everyone. My thanks to Joe for giving us a closer look at the ways it will affect older adults. To find out more, use the information that's coming up next.
Learn more by visiting Medical Mutual of Ohio's website, www.medmutual.com. Next, evaluating your equilibrium.
It's time to get up and go. An exercise minute on golden opportunities.
Hello everybody, I'm Mike Carbon from Breakout Fitness, and today we're going to work the triceps in the back of our arm by doing a tricep extension, okay? Today we're going to roll out on our exercise ball. We want to have the ball between our lower back and our shoulder blades. If you don't have a ball, this exercise can also be done on the ground at home. We want to start with the dumbbell straight above our chest. We're going to grab our elbow with the opposite hand, and we simply want to drop that dumbbell down to a 90-degree angle and then fully extend it back up, okay? So straight down and right back up. Holding the opposite arm with the one that's not being used will help you to make sure that you get full range of motion and you can get a 90-degree angle. All right, slow and steady. Remember to breathe. How you feeling?
Oh, I'm still
Now
here.
it's your turn to get up and go.
For your copy of the exercise booklet, please send $1 for postage to Golden Opportunities, 23240 Chagrin Boulevard, Suite 450, Beechwood, Ohio, 44122.
You might not think unsteadiness is a problem for you, but this next segment may sway your opinion. Dr. Kevin Sweeney is here to help balance out our understanding of balance. Dr. Sweeney is the Director of Balance Services at Orthopedics and Sports Medicine of Ohio. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you, Larry. Glad to be here on Golden Opportunities today with you.
Well, we're talking about balance. So what are the symptoms of balance?
Balance symptoms can come in many different forms. It can come anywhere from someone who just turns over in bed and the room starts spinning, bends over, picks something up, and again they experience that. They can have periods of dizziness, traveling in a car, and nearly falling or fear of falling. If they've already fallen before or feel that they've nearly fallen, that becomes very much a fear factor. And spinning around during certain activities, the room starts spinning.
That doesn't sound pleasant.
It is not.
Can someone have a balance problem even if they aren't experiencing these symptoms?
They can. We generally have a means in which we subconsciously correct ourselves and hold ourselves in certain positions called compensation.
Okay.
And by doing that, we keep ourselves out of trouble momentarily, but eventually the right situation may occur that fall does take place and no longer will compensation work.
Yeah, and so falls are a big problem for seniors, so balance would play into that.
Yes, it is a very large problem.
So how do you test to see if there's a balance problem?
Well, the first test that can take place is a balance platform in which an individual, and first of all, we're trying to find those that are not aware that they have a balance problem. And that is a large amount of individuals.
I think we have a picture up here. That's the balance platform
That
we're
is the
talking
balance
about?
platform, exactly. So they stand on the balance platform, and they are on there for a period of 60 seconds. They have their eyes open for 30 seconds, and then they close their eyes for 30 seconds. All that data is then fed into the computer, and that computer is stored with 8,000 other individuals that have taken the test, and part of those that database will match the testing individual with their age, their height, their weight, and their gender. So the people in the computer have passed the test with no problem. They also have to pass the test. If they do not, then there is definitely a balance problem that needs further looking into.
Okay, so we identify the problem, but we need to get behind the problem, right, and answer what's going on and why is there a problem?
The why factor always seems to be something that doesn't seem to be addressed enough. Typically, a patient may be in their primary care physician's office. It's never discussed. They're afraid to bring it up, or the physician themselves does not ask the question, are you having a balance problem? Because they may be in there for something else. So we have to figure out what to do with them. If they do divulge that, they may be put on Antibert, which is a medication. Again, it's a general medication without knowing the answer why they're having a problem yet, or just some general physical therapy. General physical therapy still doesn't answer the question why, but it is important down the road, okay?
And is the goggles that we have here on the table part of the
Yes,
why question?
The answer to the why question, the next step beyond the balance platform would be to have a very thorough testing called video nice sonography. It happens to be the gold testing, and we can reduce that long word to VNG, okay? This is the gold standard. There's nothing above it. There are 18 tests in which we perform, and again, it's computer enhanced. There's a multitude of tests there that I put the person through. The results of that test then are sent to a neurologist. This individual has a background of being a neurologist, but has taken extensive training and more education in the actual workings of the balance system and the brain and how that all interlinks.
So you can really pinpoint the problem and then treat the problem.
Exactly. He will come back with the results of that and the recommendations, and then we are narrowing down and answering the why.
Excellent. This has been really good information. I wish we had more time, but whether you feel a little off balance or not, as part of a personal balanced health plan, you should plan to get tested. To learn more, use the information that's coming up next. My thanks to Dr. Sweeney for setting us straight.
For more information, call Orthopedics and Sports Medicine of Ohio at 216-476-1700 or click to www.osmofohio.com. Next, how to hang up on those annoying telemarketers.
Hi, I'm Trapper Jack for Nelson Vein Clinic. It has to do with removing varicose veins. Deb, you had the process done when?
Just 3 days ago.
And how did your legs look before?
They look like a road map to Akron.
Yeah. Were you shocked at how fast everything took place once you were here?
Absolutely. Not more than 30 minutes. I actually felt no pain. I felt no discomfort.
Was it even less painful when you found out it was covered by insurance?
Of course. It was an amazing experience, and she's an amazing doctor.
Isn't it time you took care of your varicose veins? Call or log on to nelsonvein.com.
Did you miss a phone number or website? Then here's your second chance, because we're going to list all of that information again. Then we'll be back to help you make your phone free from telemarketers. Happen to you? You just sit down for dinner or to watch your favorite TV show and the phone rings. And who is it? No, it's not your kids calling to say they love you or Publishers Clearinghouse calling to say you won $5 million, but it's a telemarketer pitching a product or service. What can you do to stop these invasions of your privacy? My law partner, Mike Solomon, has invaded our kitchen to give us the answer.
Hi, Laurie.
Hi. So how do we stop these unwanted calls?
Well, the best option is just to register your telephone number with the Do Not Call registry. It's run by the Federal Trade Commission. The telephone number is 1-888-382-1222, and you must call from the telephone that you want to block.
Okay.
And the good thing, you can also do it with your cell phone.
Oh, that's excellent. Will the telemarketer calls stop right then, instantly?
Not immediately. They'll start decreasing over time, but by 31 days, they all have to stop.
What if I'm not sure if I've already registered my number? Is there a way to check that out?
Yeah, call that same telephone number. Again, that's 1-888-382-1222. Call that number and then follow the prompts and you'll find out whether you're registered or not.
Okay. What if I get an unsolicited call, another telemarketer,
That's right.
prompting me to use their services to get on the Do Not Call list?
Well, it's probably a scam. You don't need anyone's help to register. It's very, very easy.
Okay. And when I signed up, does that stop all the calls?
Well, not all the calls. Charities and surveys can still call you, and worse yet, politicians can still call you. So in an election year, you're going to get a lot of phone calls from politicians running for office.
Isn't it true any company you're already doing business with, they can call you as well?
Sure. You know, your business, your credit card company, companies like that you do ongoing business with, they're allowed to call you. You've kind of signed up for that when you decide to do business.
Okay, but we got to get rid of those telemarketers,
That's
though.
right.
So, do you want some peace and quiet at dinner? Sign up for the Do Not Call registry. It's easy. Just call 1-888-382-1222.
Call Budish, Solomon, Steiner, and Peck at 1-888-236-5173 for more information or to schedule a speaker for your organization. Or log on to www.budishandsolomon.com.
Thanks for joining us. Next week, the Cleveland Museum of Art has a fresh canvas, a place to dine where you can enjoy masterpiece dishes. We'll reserve a table for you. Are your finances your friend or your foe? We'll invest time to mediate your issues with your money. Plus, doctor's orders will share the latest medical news. Until then, please remember to make the most of your golden opportunities.
Would you like to join our kitchen conversation? All you have to do is call toll-free 1-877-765-1543 and leave us your question, name, and phone number. Or log on to www.golden.tv for all the latest information and show updates.